Hey man, what's up?
Nothing much in a hotel room in Cleveland, Ohio. Just enjoying the afternoon till I got a sound check later.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, we've been friends pretty long. In the very beginning, Heaven Below, you sent me a package. I still have it upstairs. It was like a wooden coffin type thing.
We still do them. Yeah, we have a new version of that coming
I
out.
saw that. I saw a picture of it already.
Yeah, nice.
Cool. Yeah, I have that original one that you sent me back when we started our site RockEyez a long time ago,
Yeah,
2004, 2005, whatever it was. Yeah.
yeah, that was way back. Maybe I want to say 2010, but maybe it was before that even. Hell yeah.
Cool, cool. And still to this day, one of my favorite songs is When Daylight Dies. That acoustic version that you put a video out.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, yeah.
that's so killer.
It still gets a lot of streams and views. I see it on my statements. I'm like, wow, this is cool. People still dig it, and a lot of people are just finding out about it for the first time.
Wow. They're behind the times. That's a great song. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's a great song. So you've been up to a lot of touring with Lita, and you have a new album coming out, The Majestic 12. Tell me a little bit about that album. When's it released or anything? I saw the video.
Yeah, I'll tell you the backstory. In 2000, was it 16 or 17? Heaven Below, we released a concept album called Good Morning Apocalypse. It featured people from Lita Ford to Jason McMaster to Udo Dirkschneider doing cameos, and it was a concept album, almost like a an Operation Mindcrime or something. It got great response, critical acclaim, even in the UK. And that album was going to be a double album because we are overly ambitious. And then reality hit us when we were making it, and we said, no, it can't be a double album. We are not Queensryche or this kind of legendary band. So we made it 12 songs. We had a lot of leftover material from that album that wasn't finished. And I'd always thought, man, we need to finish that stuff. It wasn't that it wasn't as good. It just wasn't. When you have 20 some odd songs, it's hard to make all of them be done. So we had gone on to do a cover album called Rest in Pieces. And after all that was done, we looked back and thought, we still have a lot of songs from Good Morning Apocalypse. And we considered doing a sequel or a prequel or something overly ambitious. And then once again, reality showed up. And we said, you know what? I think we need to make a standalone album that doesn't need to have a story or a concept, but it can have those songs that we didn't finish. And so I kind of reapproached them, rewrote some lyrics, made it a standalone song rather than a concept song, each one of them. And about half of this new album is those songs. And we feel really good about it because even when we put out Suffer the Masses as a teaser single, people have responded to it really great in the streams and people loving the song. So the Majestic 12 is actually half of Good Morning Apocalypse that never made it, and then brand new songs that all stand alone. It's funny, you can almost see it as a concept because it does have some alien stuff in it,
Uh-huh.
some extraterrestrial vibes. But we're not sure of an exact date, and it's a good reason. Um, my wife Nikki and I, Nikki is the guitar
Right.
player
Yep.
also in Heaven Below.
Mhm.
We are going to be doing a tour with Marty Friedman in January and February of next year.
Right. Yeah.
We're doing our acoustic duo, and we're direct support for Marty starting at NAMM, going across the country and finishing at the Whiskey. We decided we're also going to release an acoustic EP to support that tour.
Cool.
So we have a first world problem of two releases we're dealing with. So what it's looking like, we'll keep on releasing these singles from the Majestic 12, but in January, we will release our EP that supports our acoustic tour with Marty. And at some point just after that, we will have an official release date for the Majestic 12. I wish we could drop the whole thing all at once, like a
Yeah.
huge band like Metallica does. 72 Seasons came out on a Friday, all
Yeah.
whatever many songs. But we don't do that with newer music. Emerging artists, I always say we're the sperm cell that has to swim through the others to get to the egg. So
Right.
we're kind of releasing each song at a time. until we will release the whole album right after that Marty tour.
Right. Yeah. Well, that would be perfect if you released it before Christmas, because Christmas presents and that new coffin case thing that you have, a great collector item.
The coffin we will put out before Christmas. That's about to drop like within the next 48 hours.
Cool, cool, cool. But yeah, that'd be a great Christmas gift to give somebody. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's even green. I don't know if it has any red, but it does have some alien green in it.
Cool, cool, cool. So let's go down some of the tracks and tell me a little bit about it. I know you sent me a couple tracks, like 4 tracks to listen to. Naturally, Almost Human is my favorite track that you sent me. I haven't heard the rest, so but otherwise, that song's killer. Let's start with that song, and that's your third single from this album, right?
Yes, and strangely enough, that song is even older and goes back before the Good Morning Apocalypse and these other songs. That song even goes back to a band I had before Heaven Below. My childhood friend Chase Gents, who is awesome in his own right in music, he and I had written that song, and it was always getting into the sessions, about to get onto an album, and at the last minute, the album would be too aggressive for that song, or maybe we were trying to do the concept album, or we were doing something acoustic. This kind of synthy melodic song never fit anywhere, and we had rewritten it so many times. Finally, once again, it reared its head in the writing sessions for the Majestic 12. Only this time we have my wife, Nikki Springfield, in the band, who
Right.
is a great singer in her own right. And I think we were messing with it on the keyboard synthesizer. And I think I asked Nikki, can you sing this little part right here when I play this? Check out, this is the old song we have. And as soon as I heard her sing it, I said, this is going on the Majestic 12. Now all the pieces have come together.
Oh,
And so here we are so many versions later, Almost Human has reared its head. And at a funny time with all this talk of AI and all
right.
this talk of people losing their jobs or humans being minimized, I thought, wow, maybe we were psychic. The song is about a human being being minimized in an emotional relationship by AI. It's why it's
Ah,
called Almost Human. And so the timing of that and Nikki seemed to just work. And the song finally made it. And everybody says, well, we love that song. I thought, well, it just
yeah,
sometimes you're a diamond in the rough, you're just not in the right place. You know,
right,
you've
yeah,
seen those memes. That
yeah.
song is one of those things in the rough that seems like it fit now.
Cool, cool. That's my favorite track that you sent me. I haven't, like I said, I haven't heard the whole thing, but that out of the 4 is my favorite. Yeah,
Thank you.
cool, cool. Tell me a little bit about Zeta.
Zeta Reticuli is the song that opens the album. It's only about a minute long. Me and Nikki were talking about, we love watching those shows and documentaries about abductions and things
Right,
coming from other worlds, sometimes maybe not even from other worlds, from our own worlds. And there was a story she told me about that has a documentary of this couple in the 50s were approached by an alien out in a some kind of remote place, and they ended up living these lives that were like from another planet, something really crazy. And
right,
they claimed that the aliens were from Zeta Reticuli, a star constellation many light years away. And we got so excited about it. I said, well, I have this idea for an intro for the Majestic 12, and there's a lot of alien things surrounding. And she said, oh, let's make it Zeta Reticuli. And so her and I kind of put it together. And it's funny, her solo album, Apocrypha, that came out a year or so ago, it ends with the song called Unite, about people coming together and almost interplanetary madness.
right,
And the way that song ends, it leads into the Majestic 12, almost like that movie John Carpenter's The Thing, where
right,
an old one leads into the next one.
right.
So her album Apocrypha ended with Unite, and musically and lyrically joins up to do Zeta Reticuli to kick off the Majestic 12.
Cool, cool, cool. Now, when you go out on tour, you think some of these songs will be included in your set?
Absolutely. Heaven Below is dying. We are chomping at the bit to get out on the road. Truth be told, I play with Lita Ford and that's a great gig. We're excited to be on the road with that. And Nikki is out with the Iron Maidens. But if we can get it on the books, absolutely, we'll take it to the stage, and we will absolutely play these songs.
Cool. When you joined Lita, did you have to audition? And how'd that work?
Yeah, I got the audition because the president of BC Rich Guitars is a buddy of mine, and I had a BC Rich endorsement back in the Union Underground days. And he had called me and said, Lita needs a guitar player, and I think you'd be perfect because you're a good singer, and maybe you'll end up singing the Ozzy part on Close My Eyes. And we laughed about it. And I went and auditioned, and I got the gig, and I had learned all the vocal parts. And sure enough, months later, she had me singing the Ozzy part, and me and my buddy from BC Rich always laughed about that.
Wow.
Sometimes it's serendipitous or some fancy word like that when things happen.
Yeah, you do a great job on that song.
Thank you so much.
Definitely do. Definitely do. When you joined Lita, was Heaven Below on the back burner, or you just like try to mesh everything together?
I was trying to mesh everything together. I never go back burner with original stuff, but truth be told, like I always say, sometimes one thing's more lucrative than the other, or it can help in some cases where Lita sang on the Heaven Below album. Right. So I like to keep my schedule full. Music's full time for me. It's the way I decompress and the way I get excited. So it's a never ending cycle.
Oh, cool. Tell me a little bit about Nightmare Rising.
Yeah, that one, that was gonna be on Good Morning Apocalypse. And lyrically, I didn't have it together, so that's why it wasn't done in time. But once this alien idea and this thing about other life forms started happening, I got the idea of what the song needed to say, and that it needed to be about a society that was falling apart because of an outside influence. And how funny things got political as they have. The song is about finding yourself regardless if aliens or human beings take over your mind. And it used to be called Rise, and it wasn't finished. But as soon as I put this alien spin and this society finding yourself idea, the song, I was able to finish it quickly. And so I thought, well, okay, we're going to put that at the front of the album.
Oh, cool. How about Machine Gun Preacher? That's a cool title.
Yeah, I stole it from a movie I had watched. It was really cool, even though I didn't make the story close to the movie. That's another song that was going to be on Good Morning Apocalypse, and it was fast and frenzied. I always wanted a song that sounded like Metallica's Blackened from Justice for All. I remember when that album opened up with that, and I was always like, man, I want a song like that. And Machine Gun Preacher just came together with me and our drummer just sitting there and him blasting those fast, crazy beats. And we were kind of joking around in the rehearsal room, and I'd play something fast and frenzied over his drums. And sure enough, one of us was like, hold on a minute, I think we got something. And that song came together really quickly, just from jamming in the rehearsal room with a drummer. We didn't even have the whole band there.
Oh, cool. That would be a great tour, Metallica and Heaven Below.
Oh, I'm so in. I'm ready to do it.
Cool. Tell me a little bit about Slow Suicide.
Slow Suicide goes way back also to Good Morning Apocalypse. I had the song, and the character in Good Morning Apocalypse was just at her wit's end and considering dying, but was too tough of a character to let that happen. But the story and her life had just ran her into the ground almost to the point of wanting death. And once again, it wasn't finished for Good Morning Apocalypse, so we put it in the back burner. Nikki got in the band, and once again, I said, Nikki, can you sing this part right here? I had my guitar, and I played the little idea, and as soon as I heard her sing that opening line, just like Almost Human, I said, that's it. This is supposed to happen. This was not supposed to be on that album. You were supposed to sing this. And it just came together because she sang it so well.
Cool. Tell me a little bit about Suffer the Masses, which is the second single.
That's the second single. That one was so close to getting on Good Morning Apocalypse. God, I don't know why it didn't. We didn't have the horns on it or anything. I guess something must have beaten it out because it wasn't completed at the time. I got a real horn section on it. Me and my buddy Bill McFadden from Redondo Beach, California. He's an awesome keyboard player. I had him help me. I said, I want to put real horns on this song, almost like a Guns N' Roses "Use Your Illusion" or a Rolling Stones kind of thing. And so he played it on his keyboard, and I was like, okay, let me hire a horn trio. And I called one of my musician friends, do you know any horn players? And he said, actually, I do. And so I hired these three guys, a trumpet player, a saxophone player, and a trombone player. And I sent them the track with the keyboards playing the fake horns. And then I got to the studio and I had my guitar and we went over the parts. And inside of 20 minutes, we had the whole arrangement down. We
Uh-huh.
put the horn players on it. And I think it was something that took the song to that next level. And
Right.
then I ended up adding that little keyboard part at the end. Lately, I'm into synthesizers and keyboards and just working them in as atmosphere, not as a dance track or anything.
Right.
And I worked in that little intro on Suffer the Masses, and I think Nikki heard me playing with it. She said, "You need to start the song with that." And it came together. And the lyrics had almost written themselves. It was about a mass of society being pushed down by government and
Right.
by ideas that didn't necessarily work on a human level, almost like a movie or a cinematic thing. And so Suffer the Masses lyrically has always been those lyrics and those vocals. But the music, I feel like we were able to step it up with the live horns and the
Right.
keyboards. And there's nine of us are playing on that track. It's the four band guys and then like five other people. And
Wow.
it just kept working. We were just adding the layers, and it never sounded like we were overdoing anything. It just kept getting bigger until it sounds like it does. So we were happy with how it came out.
Cool. Cool. Tell me about the Killer Is Me.
Okay, that one came as a joke also in some ways. I had a band called Union Underground, and we had a song called "Turn Me On, Mr. Deadman" that was our hit back in like 2000, 2001. And I had different versions of the music for that song even back then. And I had played Tacoma, Washington. I played some kind of guitar event where I talked about songs and how playing guitar and how you get a gig and how you do everything. And I played Turn Me On, Mr. Deadman as an example of a song, and I had a backing track. It was just me and the backing track. I took the backing track home and I was just warming up over it. And the backing track was just drums and bass. And I started playing Turn Me On, Mr. Deadman, but I changed the riff around. So it was almost a remix.
Right.
And then I was like, wait a minute, that might be a good idea. What were my original vocals for Turn Me On, Mr. Deadman that didn't make the original? And I found them and I started singing it. And by the end of the day, I had The Killer Is Me. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is actually a new song at this point. This is no longer Turn Me On, Mr. Deadman. And The Killer Is Me ended up, maybe it's a sequel to Turn Me On, Mr. Deadman. I don't know.
Cool. 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 And Goodnight Entity.
Oh, okay, yeah. Goodnight Eternity.
Eternity.
Yeah, like a lot of people, I lost a lot of friends and family during the pandemic and after. And I lost my parents in the during the pandemic and after. And the song Goodnight Eternity was going to close Good Morning Apocalypse because there were some characters in Good Morning Apocalypse that passed away. Well, it was hard to do, but after my parents died, I thought I can reapproach these lyrics and I could actually make this a tribute to my parents. And so that's what I did with Goodnight Eternity. And it kind of outlines their lives and us and everything. And
Cool.
it seemed like just something that would be nice near the end of the record, just because people might be able to relate to having lost someone and still having to carry on.
Right. Yeah. Was that an emotional song to write?
Yes, very much so. Well, when I first wrote it was about the characters who passed away in Good Morning Apocalypse. But then when I had to change it over to my parents, oh my God, it was rough.
Bet
I
you.
just got the strength and got through it, and they supported me my whole life. And I thought, well, this will be my tribute to them.
Right. Yeah.
And I did it, and I played it for some family members, and they were just over the moon about it. So
Wow.
it feels like a wonderful tribute to do for your loved ones like that.
Cool. Cool. So tell me about this Coffin Crypt that's coming out. What comes in it and whatever.
Yeah, like the other Coffin Crypts, it has a T-shirt in it. It's got a CD sampler that has four of the songs that we just discussed from a Majestic 12. It has a drinking flask that's the shape of a coffin, and
Uh-huh.
it's got some artwork on it that says "Take me to your drinker," and it shows
Uh-huh.
a drunk guy being lifted into a spaceship. We got some military dog tags in it. It's also got a sticker pack. Gosh, it's got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a pricey piece of merchandise, but they are handmade, real wood, as you know.
Right. Yes.
They're individually signed and numbered. We even do the staining ourselves.
Uh-huh.
It's a company out of Nevada that actually makes the coffins. Like, this guy goes and collects dead wood
Yeah.
and makes these amazing wooden things.
Wow.
And I remember seeing his coffin and I thought, oh, that would be the craziest idea for merch ever. And he and I connected, and he even drills it out so the CD kind of floats in the center of the coffin.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I thought, wow, I think as far as merchandise goes, I don't care if you're Kiss or the band next door or Metallica. I think this is the top of the merchandising. This
Right.
this
Yeah.
might beat a lot of stuff we've seen. So that guy, Joseph, did a great job on building those and then allowing us to retrofit them into what they are.
Cool. Cool. Seems like you're always big on merchandise, all the way from the early days. Always like some kind of production going on. You got your hands in everything.
Absolutely. I've always been a fan of that kind of thing. I remember, being a kid, one of my first albums was the Shout at the Devil from Motley Crue, and it came with a form. And I remember my
Yeah.
Judas Priest screaming for vengeance. And I remember begging my mom for the spiked wristband and
Uh-huh.
all that stuff. And early on, even with Union Underground back in the day, I remember as much as we loved playing gigs, we were excited making money from our merchandise because that allowed us to make more merchandise
Right.
or
Yeah.
allowed us to get something for the stage. And we still do that today. Heaven Below can make videos or make more merch by people supporting that. We make more music by using stuff that makes money.
Cool. Cool. And how can people pick that up?
Heavenbelow.com is not up right now. We're having a changeover on the webmasters and all that. But the best way is to follow Nikki and I on social media. Nikki has a big cartel store, is where the coffin is going to be, and it'll be linked to everything like that.
Cool. Cool. Now, next year with Lita, you go out. You go to Germany, huh?
Actually, Lita's doing Germany by herself.
Oh yeah, you're
She's
not
gonna
going.
No, the band doesn't go. It's just her with
Uh-huh.
an orchestra with other legendary singers playing their hits. I
Wow.
think that's what that's what they're doing there.
Oh, cool. Then that gives you time to do Heaven Below stuff.
Absolutely. I told Nikki, I said we can do some gigs acoustic, or we can do a Heaven Below full shows, whatever we need to do. We'll be busy one way or the other.
Right. Yeah. 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 So, what are your wishes for Christmas? What kind of gift you want?
Well, I'm excited for Christmas because Nikki and I moved back to Texas. I was in
Uh-huh.
California for 20 years and 6 months.
Wow.
Her and I met out there, and she is from outside of Dallas, Texas, and we moved back there, and we love our house, and our in-laws are 3 streets over. The grandparents are nearby. We fly out to the gigs like everybody else with Lita and everything. So just being at home, being able to record music and being able to play acoustic guitar by the tree, it's these are things you'll never get back. So time is definitely more important than money, I have
Yeah.
learned.
Cool. Cool. If someone was trying to break into music, what would you tell them?
Never be discouraged, to just never give up. It's a different playing field than when I got signed to a label and went on tour and all that, but you get to control your own destiny. It's not somebody handing you a check telling you how to dress and what to sound like. So control your own destiny, never give up. The best will not win the race. The most the person who keeps trying over and over will win the race.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. The Majestic 12, will that come out on vinyl?
Yes, we have plans for a picture disc vinyl. We found out that the album clocks in at under an hour, so it'll be one picture disc vinyl. We'll have it on CD also. We're not going to do cassette, I don't think. But we're putting ideas together for bundles and the best way to do it. The Coffin will be the first way to get the physical music on the 4-song sampler that comes with it.
Cool. Cool. Is music everything that you thought it would be?
It yes and no. It's more than I thought it'd be because the fulfillment you get from people who listen to your music and tells them how it affected their lives positively. Um, it's a lot of hard work too. Sometimes you don't get to have normal hours like a 9 to 5er does. Sometimes you're so jet lagged or can't find sleep. I've slept in a dressing room before a gig to make sure I could play. Um, Sometimes there's people that try to take advantage of the income, whether it's merch cuts or all kinds of things. So you got to watch out for that. You have to be part lawyer, you got to be part prosecutor, you got to be part judge, but most of all, you just have to keep trying.
Cool, cool. How does Heaven Below fans differ from Lita Ford, or they don't?
They do cross into each other. The Lita fans seem like they're more of the classic, VH1, Eddie Trunk, badass
Right, yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And I wouldn't call the Heaven Below fans, super new like some of the newer bands, but it does seem to branch off from the new metal scene that I was part of in the early 2000s.
Right, yeah.
So and I love classic bands and I love newer bands too. So Heaven Below kind of tends to mix that thing.
Right, yeah. Wow, wow. What's your feeling about giving fans autographs and stuff like that, and them waiting online just to get a signature from you?
Well, I'm not at a point in my career where I could consider charging people or making people wait a long time. So I try to fulfill everyone's wishes on that, the way I would want a rock star to do it for me.
Right.
Now, should I get further down the line into legendary or classic status? I don't know if my views will change or not, but as of right now, I'm all about signing stuff. Now, when people bring up a pick guard sometimes or a guitar, you go, maybe this is for eBay. And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really quick-witted. I learned from JJ French of Twisted Sister. He told me that he would quiz fans. He would say, name our first single. And
Uh-huh.
if they couldn't get it, he would know whether it was a real fan or not. And
Right,
so
yeah.
I've adopted that too, but of course I make it a joke because I'm a witty, funny guy. And I'll name a song from another band. What did you think of our song? And I'll name something else.
Right.
And then I go, gotcha. I make a game out of it.
Right,
So
yeah.
I'm never cruel or anything like that, but I use humor to move it along all the time.
Cool, cool, cool. So what are your plans for the rest of the year? It's almost over, so anything going?
Yeah, we are in the middle of completing the artwork for both the Majestic 12 and for mine and Nikki's EP, which is called Ghost Notes, by the way. We're completing all the artwork for Ghost Notes and we're getting ready to go to manufacturing before they close for the year so that the beginning of next year we'll have all our physical CDs and merch and all that stuff. I know these companies, I got to get in with them before they
Right,
close
yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
we'll be the first thing on the docket when they come back on January 1st. So just finishing that stuff. And that's a lot of work too. Once you have the songs done, only part of the work is done. Now you
Right,
have to
yeah,
go on to things that a record company would have done and have done in the past. But you get to keep all the money this time,
yeah,
even though no one handed you a check with six figures on it. You do
yeah.
get to keep all the money.
Cool, cool, cool. Now the Majestic 12, you did that independently, or you got a label, or how
No,
so?
we're doing that independently, and we have our own production company that we call Broken Halo Media. We've learned that you have to have an LLC because as you start to get into making thousands of dollars, the IRS wants
Yeah,
30% of it. So
yeah,
I learned the hard way from Union Underground all the way up till now. You got to have some things in place, otherwise they come after everything.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. Even their tax and eBay stuff, like you sell stuff and they get part of it.
Yeah, and Nikki and I only do music for a living. So we will sit there with our accountant and go, "Oh my God, we need to write off this, we need to write off
Right.
that. We shipped out how many thousand what?" And then we do write-offs. And that's the adult responsible things that we have to do as I guess independent or active musicians. But once again, I'm not complaining about it. I would
Uh-huh.
take that over somebody taking my paycheck any day.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So what are your hopes for this album when it's released?
just to reach more people and for people to know that there's still new music that they can grasp onto. It doesn't always have to be only classic music. We love the classic music. I'm going to put on a Judas Priest album in the next 5 minutes, but there's still new music out there.
Cool, cool. Well, Patrick, it was great talking to you. Always is. Longtime fan. Don't forget to say hi to my friend Joe Morante. Who'll see
I will
you
see
tonight.
Joe Morante, and I will have some guitar. I got some new guitar picks for you.
Cool, cool. Would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Everybody, thank you so much just for keeping up with us on social media. It means a lot to Nikki and I and to band members, and we will never give up. We will play music as long as our mouth, brain, eyes, ears, and limbs work. So just keep doing whatever you're doing. It's not about who's the best. It's about who tries the most.
Cool, cool. This will be up today. So, congratulations on the new album, man.
Thank you so much, Brian. You be safe.
Talk to you later.
Talk to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.